Hey, what's up? I'm Ben. Welcome to Martial Arts on the World. I'm here with Sensei Joe.
Welcome.
At South Mountain Aikido, we're going to go over some Aikido principles and hang out with some of his class. Let's have some fun. Whoosh.
Come back up, bring it back up to your arm up here again. That point. Okay, stop doing it.
I think I'm good at feeling.
Now, energy, right? Now relax and lead him. Don't pull him. Just when you feel that tension, don't tighten up. Just lead. Now lead. Lead from the fingers, draw circle lines. Turn from here, lead. It looked better. It didn't look like you were pulling him. Hi, I'm Joe DiCapua, lead instructor here at South Mountain Aikido. This is our 15th year that we've been in existence. I personally have been practicing, it's going on 39 years now in Hinson Aikido. There are many styles of Aikido. This particular one is also known as Ki Aikido, Ki Society, which was started by Koichi Tohei Sensei back in the 70s when he basically broke away from Aikikai. So we're in Frederick, Maryland, which if you're not familiar with Frederick, Maryland, it's about 40 miles due north of Washington, D.C. So we're very close to both Baltimore and Washington. And so if you're ever in an area where you'd like to have visitors, people from other styles, come and pay us a visit once or twice a year when they're in town, feel free to come on a mat. So he'll give you the correct energy to do the arm, right? He's not going to break your chops as you're learning the arm. It's usually of 6 throws. You do them on either side, so it's 12 throws. Starts with a 3-second bow. You go through, 12. Then, so it's our forms. Many styles don't have this. Everyone knows what the outcome is going to be, right? But it teaches you flowing. Also teaches you 6 arts you can do from often the same attack. But we're doing it lightly to get the flow down, as opposed to, throwing them hard and on. Teaching us how to move in a circular manner, or to lead them, things like that.
Does Aikido have a lot of katas?
No,
like
I mean,
karate
it depends on the style. You will find some styles we have a few weapons. You'll find some styles have a lot of weapons, katas. Like I said, we call them taigis in this particular style. So it varies. After O Sensei died, all the instructors sort of added stuff. So if they were into judo, they had a little judo. If they're into swords, more swords, right? So that's why you have a wide variety of Aikido. So it's no longer one style, right? And that created a whole lot of political problems way back when the splits happened. I don't see that much anymore because that generation is getting pretty old or died off. So you don't feel that as much anymore. That it's a different style. We can't learn from that. You can learn from a whole lot of people, right? Wow. There are people in the Ki Society that are soft, and people in Ki Society that are hard. People in other styles, Aikikai, that are soft and hard, right? So I look at, are you relaxed and flowing when you move? That's telling me a lot. You can't always tell by the demonstrations on YouTube, because they're sometimes rehearsed. Usually giant ukemi, big flowing things. Not necessarily going to happen on the street if you do that. Get these wonderful throws, right? But it's teaching you motion and how to move. But realistically, you're not necessarily going to do a real fancy throw. A lot of them lead around over the hip, over the throw. They look great, but you made it. I don't know at my height whether I'd want to throw someone your height. How tall are you?
5'11".
5'11", yeah. And how much do you weigh?
230-ish.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want that going over my back in a street-like situation, unless it really, because one wrong move and I could be a pancake. So I'd rather we have, I think, more simple throws where you're not relying so much on leverage,
Gotcha.
but more leading. Toei Sensei tried to take what O Sensei was doing and explain it to the West. So he came up with these principles, which he actually got from his meditation instructor. Tried to talk about what was O Sensei doing. So he came up with these principles to keep one point, relax completely, keep weight underside, extend ki. We still use them today, but I think now, these came out, 70s, right? But we've learned a lot more about, just in research, mind-body connection, sports psychology, quantum physics, however you want. So we can explain things even better now. They used to say that this one and this one were mind aspects, keeping one point, keeping yourself. And these two were mind. The more I study it, the more I think it's all mind. Right? Because tension, relax completely. Where does tension come from? It comes from usually the mind, how you think, right? Keeping one point, mind is down. Keep weight underside, similar. Mind down, extend ki. You're alive, you're extending ki. Right? So we can take these things and I think expand on them in the many years since Toei Sensei did this to get a deeper understanding. Just because the Eastern philosophy is more accepted now, right?
Yep.
And if you study a Japanese sword manual that was written centuries ago, they're having the same problems we are. How do I move naturally? How does my mind not get stuck? Right? So if you read the Unfettered Mind, written by a Zen monk hundreds of years ago, he's writing letters to his friend, a swordsman, telling him how not to get stuck. Right? So if I grab your wrist and your mind goes there, and if you don't have any training, you get stuck there because you think, has my wrist, I can't do anything. But you have another arm, a head, a torso, 2 legs, right? But he would call that the abiding place. It's where you would die because you get stuck. Right?
Wow.
So after a while, when you work at this, your mind doesn't get stuck.
Gotcha.
And I can show you that when we get one of these big guys. I can give you an example.
Demonstration. Right.
Relaxation in Aikido. So of course this is not a safe grab for him. Of course, there's a whole bunch of different things you can do. But for practice, if he's holding me tight, right, and my mind gets stuck at my wrists, as the Zen monk in Unfettered Mind would say, that's the abiding place. So if I move from there, straight, right? Because my mind is stuck there. But if I wanted to scratch my nose, right? So I'm not thinking, my mind is not stuck there, I'm just scratching my nose or touching my ear. Right? You just, the minute I switch to, I gotta move, Cameron. So soft, relax, not letting your mind get caught in his strength. Another way of looking at it was taught to me by Kirk Fallow Sensei in Arizona. He said, don't move them. When you try to move them, it's a fight. Move you. Right? So if I move me, I'm not thinking that Cameron is attached to me. I'm just moving. So that's what, thank you.
Very interesting. Wow.
So we don't try to get stuck there. Here, this is back in the 90s. He was about 92, Eto Sensei. He's with Terry Pierce Sensei, and he taught our seminar when he's about 92 years old. Very lovable man. He had this particular way of holding you down with one hand when you were on your stomach, and he did it to me, and I couldn't move, and he's just laughing. He's just really laughing. But this is Kashiwai Sensei. He's currently the head of the Midland Ki Federation, but he's going to retire at the end of 2020. Great instructor, a lot of fun. He's taught us a lot. over the years.
And this was your sensei, you said?
This was Dan Frank Sensei, died a few years ago, and he got into it because it helped him deal with the strain of fighting in the Vietnam War.
Wow.
He used this as a way to deal with that. I never saw him really angry, so it must have worked, right? He taught us a lot. He really cared about his students.
Wow. Just beautiful. Can you talk about this book?
Yeah. So one of the books I recommend, no matter what you're studying, is The Unfettered Mind by Takuran Soho. All right. Written hundreds of years ago. If you look at this, it was written centuries ago. A very well-known Zen monk at the time. He was well-known, and his friend was a swordsman. So it's a series of letters to him talking about really the mind, right? So conscious mind, very slow. They knew that even back then. Maybe they called it by a different thing, but they knew that if you thought about every move, you could get killed because you're just thinking about every move. So you practice. So the movements are not a particular throw, they become a way of you naturally moving. They are now part of your natural movements. They are not a particular art because you've practiced, and that's for anything you're going to do. Practice. Now, there's a sports psychologist today called Eddie O'Connor, which I think is great, who says, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect, right? If you can ever achieve perfection. So in other words, he's saying, when you move, if we were doing what we call utamuashi, this move, very powerful move, but if I'm just, not thinking about it, doing this, I'm not really understanding what it's for. So maybe I can borrow Lat Ming for a second here. So that's daito-ryu motion, 2 hands on 1. Okay. So if I come here, this is similar to what we were doing a little earlier, right? Hold tight. So if I use strength, can't move, right? But if I just relax, right? So I think that's the hardest part about Aikido. The 2 words my students hear most are relax and softer, relax and softer. And they say, Joe, I am relaxed. Like a little more. So that's what you study for the rest of your life. Softer or relaxed. And you start looking for, you're no longer looking to beat up people, which you may have done back in your 20s and you have all that energy. I think when you study a traditional martial art, you're looking for something deeper, right? You're studying something deeper, not just how can I hurt this person. It's basically your responsibility not to hurt the person, right? So you have that light side of martial arts and the dark side. Some people only study, say, the light side in the sense that, I'm just going to do it as a moving meditation. Fine. But if you learn the potential that it can do to harm someone, then you become very aware of what not to do, how you have to be, how you have a responsibility not to hurt people, how you settle a conflict without violence. Because they would say, if you have to resort to hitting or throwing, maybe you weren't so good. Right? They've been allowed to get to that point. Now, different groups will allow you to wear this at different times, right? There are many groups that don't allow you to wear this until you're Shodan, black belt. I allow it at 3rd kyu the way Toei Sensei originally did, because it teaches you how to move. If you don't move correctly, you trip. So actually, when you wear the hakama, your movements have to get bigger, more flowing, right? And folding it is a challenge. We kid Cameron because he has a particular brand, which I won't say, but it's cut very differently. So it's like it defies you to fold it, right? But some of these other guys have different brands, and it's much easier to fold. So we found out because someone else has the same brand, also has difficulty getting a nice square and being neat. It's like it's alive and saying, I'm not going to fold, but a different brand. So that's part of it. You have to, when you get it, it's part of an initiation. You have to learn how to put it on because it's like octopus arms, really long straps. And then you want to fold it because it's a mindful act, right? And you'll often find if you've had a bad day on a mat, in a sense, your mind, you're not present and you're just thinking about a lot of problems of the day and not really concentrating on what you're doing and being mindful. The hakama often folds very like a trapezoid or a rhomboid. It doesn't look good, right? But if you're mindful, you'll find it has a nice square shape to it. The straps look good. So again, how you think
Flows into that as well.
flows into that.
Wow.
Now, I can show you with you the mind aspects if you want someone else to just hold that for you, so I can demonstrate with you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. So, right, so Cesar, what I want you to do then is, I want you to just select, I want you to pick what you think is your strongest position. Right?
Okay.
I'm gonna push one aside a bit. I want you to feel what you think would be good, not to be pushed over. No, just, I mean, sitting like, sitting like, and say so. All right, okay? All right, okay? Feel that? Really good? Work hard? Right? All right. Now relax. Hands up here. All right. All I want you to do now is think big. Ignore me. Fill up this room with your mind. Don't push back. Just fill up this room with your mind.
So relaxing. That's nice. You figured out your
Wow.
Pushing a lot harder.
Okay.
All right. Now think small. Right. Think you're like a mouse. Right.
And it's not
Feel that?
always
Feel the
working,
give?
so the company had to get my.
I do actually.
Right. So right.
Wow.
Go back to thinking big.
No, but it's okay. Nobody bothers you there.
Yeah, maybe the deer.
For the bears.
Or bears.
Big difference. So we can do that with a.
Wow.
We can do that with a child.
Well, my cat.
Every reindeer.
Wow. You were pushing a full when I was thinking the baby?
Yeah, I could be standing up and pushing on you. So it's not magic or anything. It's just that you're calm. If you think of resisting me,
Yeah.
that violates sort of the keto thing, right? Right? But if you, another way of looking at it, it's here's my energy coming in. If you take it, send it down to your center, into the mat, right? Relax, just feel it, don't fight it. Right? Nice and solid. Now think, I'm not going to move.
Oh man.
Right?
Wow.
So that's just one thought.
Yeah.
Right? So I tell people what happens when you're out doing your everyday things.
Yeah.
And you're like many people going, oh, I'm too fat, I'm not attractive, no one likes me, right? So you're saying all these things. So you can imagine what that might be doing to your physical health and your body, right? Whereas here you thought of something positive. You could do the same thing, get into that position, think of something good that happened today.
The
Right?
turtle or?
No, just like you, right? So put your hands a little bit here, good. Think of something good, right? Okay. Think of something not so good. Right? And again, that's just a simple thought. So if you're doing that all day long, you can see how it could affect you. So when we throw people, one of the things we have, if you look at the principles, is lead with confidence, right? So we try to get people to come out in the mat at the time to feel confident. They can do it makes a big deal as opposed to I must throw them.
Gotcha.
Right? A lot of guys are I must throw them to prove I'm a strong guy.
Right.
Right? Women will come in thinking, oh, it's a big guy, I can't throw. But they come in softer.
Right.
And usually with a more open mind. Right? Guys will come in, I did full contact karate when I was 20, so I know I can do that. I don't necessarily want to do it now at 50. But they're right? And so it's sometimes harder for them to just let go and move softly.
That was amazing.
It's like I said, it's nothing mystical.
Yeah.
And I think any good martial art teacher will talk about these concepts.
Yeah.
I think if you're learning a martial art and don't talk about the mind affecting the body over time. You know, as you get to the higher ranks, if you don't do that, you're just technique. So what this does is, when we talk about ki, and a lot of discussion about what ki is, I even asked the Japanese instructor, and he said, even the Japanese aren't sure. But a lot of it's interpreted as energy, life force, things like that. I like to think of it as your more natural state, right? So when you're throwing something, you're not, although you see a lot of demonstrations that are really, right, looks impressive, but when someone big comes out, you can't collide. You need to take what we said, leave your mind. If I get your mind moving, right? So stand up, right? Okay, so just face this way, right? All right, so just, right? So I'm just gonna try to move you by coming here, right? So you're good, right? Oh.
Same mindset?
Yeah, just be normal, right? Your everyday thing, right? Not much, right? But if I can move your mind, right? Right? So that was a physical way of,
Right.
you track that, right?
Right.
Your mind went from here to out there.
Right.
Your body followed.
Right.
Body followed. So if we can, so that's one concept of this style of Aikido. Mind leads body. Don't just think, I gotta throw that body. Then you're just gonna be psyching yourself out. Also not resisting, but maybe accepting the energy that you're getting from an attack. Not like, but how can I accept that? So ready, cross hand. Okay. Just one. Okay. Right? So very soft. Right? So if I just did like,
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it was I did it at a demonstration once. I had a 4th degree jiu-jitsu guy holding on to me. I knocked him down 3 times, right? After the demo, no one would talk to me. Like, they're like, what's going on? So let's just explain it, right? Very simple moves, right? Boom, boom.
Oh man.
Right? So let's just break down what's happening here, right? Right? What's happening here? I'm bouncing your mind.
Okay.
Boing, you're coming back, right? Boing, you're bouncing. As you come back, you're raising my hand. And I throw a pie in your face. Boom. So this also gets your mind back. So basically, you're bouncing, you don't want to be there, you come back. I go this way, you fall down. This hand here is what we call weight underside. It's relaxed, but mind is down. Pins your feet to the floor.
Okay.
So your top you can't walk away, but your top starts bending. Right? So medical arm, just stay there a second. Okay. Hold it tight. I want you to walk away. Just go ahead. Walk away. Right? I really can't keep you there. Right? If I'm relaxed, right, and just mind down, walk away. A little harder.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then we could also, what my students have nicknamed the Jedi drop, right? Which is very soft here, right? And just,
Man.
right? So, notice all this stuff is dealing
Flowing.
with the mind,
Yeah.
and eventually we'll want to get, so when, at higher levels we really start attacking fast, you want to be able to stay relaxed. So when we tell people in the beginning, don't practice fast and hard, that just makes you sloppy. You leave out parts and you just get really hard. So we start out getting the movements down, working with them, building up ki. Then, I think, faster and faster, more serious attacks, things like that. But then the body knows what to do, because the body's been trained to move without thinking. And then you can concentrate more on the flow of energy. If you don't have to think, foot goes here, hand goes here. That's the way it is in the beginning, so it's very conscious, very slow. Right? When you're learning something, no matter what it is, very slow. Whether you're playing sports, right? You're learning how to field ground balls, right? Get hit in the head, everything else in other places. But after a while, over time, you're not thinking, you're just getting down. You're just able to follow the bounce and just deal with it, right? Just from practice. So it doesn't matter how athletic you are, right? how smart you are. My biggest thing is, are you persistent? Do you practice? Come to class and practice. I've seen a lot of very athletic guys only get so far because they're used to their body doing everything for them, and then we get into the mind aspects. They never had to do that. Can't do it because their body feels, my body has betrayed me. I can't throw this person because this person is relaxed. Right? They learn the basics of being relaxed. For the other person, maybe just want to learn fancy techniques.
Okay, gentlemen. So, South Mountain Aikido on 3. 1, 2, 3.
South Mountain Aikido!
Yeah.